Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a brand new video. It's Monday morning. I'm just about to take Zach off to school. Can't afford the storm this week. It's a quiet week this week. I have a few appointments, but most of them are at home. Today my sister-in-law is getting her next lot of G-tube and medication training. Tomorrow the OT is coming out to trial a couple of new bath seats for Avery, and then Thursday I'm taking Avery to see a representative for the beds that will eventually be offered to her when all the red tape gets sorted out. So that's this week. Can't before the storm, like I said though, because next week, oh my goodness, if you could see my calendar, it is absolutely manic. I have something on nearly every day. Zach has taster days at his new secondary school. I have a parent carer evening at the secondary school. Avery has hospital appointments. Oh, this week I also have Zach's school performance. Apparently he just has singing parts in it, but I'm still gonna go and watch it. Apparently afterwards they have like pictures of what they were all like on their first day of school. So his teacher contacted me yesterday, or the day before that should I say, about a picture of Zach. So I did have one. I managed to rummage through my old photos and I had one of his first day of school, so I sent that in. Anyway, weekend was lovely. It was Father's Day yesterday. I have been incredibly clumsy this weekend and now I am paying for it. So on Saturday I was cutting the ends off a bunch of flowers. Josh bought me a bunch of flowers and I managed to completely cut through my finger with the scissors. So a tiny cut, but it's quite deep and it's quite painful. And then on Sunday I helped Zach make Josh an egg and bacon sandwich for breakfast because it was Father's Day. I say I helped Zach because I actually let Zach do most of the work. I just kind of stood and supervised, obviously, you know, hot food and whatever and hot pan. And the pan went to fall off the stove. So instinctively I went to catch the pan to stop it from touching Zach. And it all happened so fast that instead of catching the handle, I actually catched the metal. I caught the metal and managed to burn my fingers. So it's all burnt all around there and the blisters all popped yesterday and it's very sore. So yeah, I've been quite clumsy this weekend. And then to top it all off, we're having car trouble. We have two cars. One is technically Avery's, which is her kind of family fun vehicle, funded for her and her hospital appointments. That is the one that's going to be replaced when we get her van. And we also have our car, the car that we had a 5-year finance on, and we still have 10 months left to pay. There's something wrong with the fuel pump, there's something wrong with the fuel filter, and this morning it wouldn't start. So Josh hasn't been able to go to work today. So he is out at the moment trying to figure out the parts and what can be done to fix the car. Relatively cheaply because, like I said, we still have 10 months left on the finance to pay. The car itself probably isn't worth much more than that at the moment, so we kind of don't have many options. We've got to have that second car so that he can get to and from work. He can't take Avery's car because that is not what it's intended for. It's intended for getting Avery around and doing things that are for Avery or related to Avery. Essentially, I'm mainly the one that drives that car unless we're all out together. But anyway, so we're trying to figure it out. Feel a little bit stuck. Kind of feel like everything's working against us at the moment, which is a little bit annoying. But let's think positive. Something positive to share is we have actually started blending for Avery again, which I'm really excited about. Either I have or I will be posting a little short of Avery's very first blend that she's had this time round. I made some homemade cookies and I decided to pour a little bit of milk in with one and blend it up and give it to her as a snack. So she's had that. And then for her dinner the other day, she had creamy garlic chicken pasta. It was very high in calories and very high in fat, so I knew it would work well for a blended meal for Avery because I try to think sort of lower volume, higher calorie. Today I was actually considering making her some lunch, just some kind of simple lunch food and blending that up. It's just, my plan is I will kind of talk more about this in detail either later on in another vlog, but my overall plan is not to completely cut out her complete paediatric. We're still going to be using that as kind of her base, but then if we're eating a meal that is going to be good for her, I will blend some up and give it to her. If I fancy giving her some lunch instead of her feed, I will. Oh, she also had, this was yesterday, she had porridge for breakfast. She had porridge with peanut butter, banana and some milk. I blended all that up. It was quite high in volume. It was much higher volume than her feed. I think it was like about 100 ml more volume than her feed, but all I did then was just reduced her water flushes, because I knew that feed had a lot of liquid in it, or not feed, the food I gave her, it had a lot of liquid in it, it had a lot of milk in it. So I just reduced her flushes, and actually she became a lot less unsettled coming up to her next feed, which normally come 11 o'clock, half 11, she starts to get a little bit fussy, and I know she's hungry because that's when her feed's due. She wasn't fussy this time, so I don't know if maybe it was just denser and it sat on her stomach a little bit better and kept her fuller for longer, I don't know, but I'm hoping that's the case. But yeah, the plan is just to get her used to real food, give her real food as and when I feel like it, as and when I can. And it's good because if ever there is a shortage on Avery's usual enteral feed, which there has been in the past, we have a backup plan that doesn't involve going to hospitals, trying to switch her onto a different feed. We can just give her real food. Same if we're out and about, or we, you know, run out of feed when we're out and about, or there's an emergency and we don't have the feed, anything like that, at least I know that I can blend her something up and give it to her down her tube and she will tolerate it fine. She's been tolerating everything beautifully so far. She hasn't vomited, her reflux hasn't gotten any worse, so it's all looking promising. I really hope it goes well this time. I'm just going to try and not bombard all of the blends on her all at once like I did last time. I'm not going to switch all of her feeds to blends. I'm just gonna kind of do what feels right this time and make it convenient, make it a little bit more natural, as opposed to spending an entire day batch cooking for the week. I want it to be easier this time so it goes smoother, and hopefully it stays, it continues. So yeah, the plan for today is to give Avery some lunch. I also need to meal prep for Josh. We bought some food in for Josh to have meal prep lunches this week. That is hoping that we can sort the car out to the point where he can actually take it to work this week, but I need to do that. Like I said, my sister-in-law has her training this afternoon. The boys have kickboxing tonight, so it's going to be quite a busy day. Madam needs to get in her stander and do some stretches and whatnot, just to try and keep those muscles supple while she's got the Botox. Although I'm not gonna lie guys, at this point I'm kind of thinking it wasn't worth it, because I'm not seeing a huge difference. The leg is still tense, her arms are still tense. There is a slight difference, but not enough to make it seem worth it that I took her all the way to Bristol and she went under general anaesthetic, and yeah, so that's that. Anyway, it is school run time, so I'm going to take Zach to school and then I will get cracking with what I need to do today. And Avery's calling. She's in there with the boys at the moment. I'm not sure if you heard her. But yeah, she's in there with the boys at the moment, so I'm going to get her in her pushchair and we are going to take Zach to school. So I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to have a quick chat with you guys about why I've decided to start giving Avery blends again. So it hasn't been a secret that it was always something that we were considering for Avery's future again, ever since we tried it last time. You know, we took a bit of time to kind of cool off from it, and then we decided, or should I say I decided, it took a little while for Josh to get on board, but I decided I definitely wanted to try it again a little bit slower and with nothing else going on at the same time, because I think that was kind of our downfall with last time. There was so much going on. I was still giving Avery taste by mouth. She was getting poorly a lot. We weren't too sure what was happening, and we decided to stop the blended diet and start her on the azithromycin at the same time. So she got better after that, but we never really knew whether it was the lack of the blended food or if it was the azithromycin. So at the moment things are quite stable. Avery is still ticking. We do have an appointment with her neurologist next week, so I'm going to speak to him about that. But in terms of med adjustments and things like that, things are quite stable. So I thought now was the perfect time to do it. And we are taking it really slow. She's not necessarily going to be having blended food every day, especially not every feed. It's just going to kind of be as and when it's convenient, as and when it feels right, as and when I've got something in the house or I'm cooking something that would be good for Avery. But my reasoning's why. Every time we've seen a doctor up here or talked to anyone regarding Avery's feeds and whatnot, we've been asked if Avery's on a blended diet and if it's something we consider. So they are very pro blended diet here. One of the reasons, which is what I explained yesterday, is if ever there is a stock issue with Avery's feed, we always have a backup plan. We can just blend her up real food and give it to her. We already have her Vitamix. I spent a lot of money on that a couple of years ago, so I'm glad to be making use of it again. Still recommend the Vitamix. It does a really good job at blending almost everything. And then the rest of the reasons really are kind of the same as what they were the last time I decided to try the blended diet. One being we can try and combat her reflux. With a blended diet, it's more adjustable than her regular feed, so we can kind of go off of Avery's kind of signs and symptoms. If it seems as though she's got bellyache, tummy upset, which is basically the same thing. Also seeing what her poo is like, seeing what her reflux is like, and we can adjust based on that. We can adjust the foods we've been giving her. We can try different kind of foods. We can take foods away if we think they're upsetting her, add foods in if we think that they're good for her, so on and so forth. But also giving her a blended diet almost gives us another option in the future if ever we find we are struggling to keep Avery's epilepsy under control. Good girl. So one of the treatments that can be used for epilepsy, if it is medicine resistant, is diet. So paleo, keto, things like that. And if Avery is already on a blended diet, then that is potentially something that we can try in the future if we need to. Like I said, I don't plan for her to be completely on a blended diet, mainly because there's going to be times when blends aren't going to be possible. When she's in school, for example, they do not feed blended food. Apparently it is to do with, because it's mostly syringe feeding, it's to do with health and safety of the people that are going to be feeding her, because it is quite straining on your hands. Also, I'm not sure what the rule is in the hospital, if they can do blends in the hospital or not. I'm not 100% sure. So she's not going to be fully on the blends, but as I've just explained, I'm just going to try and make it as easy and convenient as possible so that we can keep it up. Another reason is it's just nice. It's nice knowing what is going into her stomach. It's nice knowing that it's something home cooked and fresh and from organic ingredients. On that point as well, it's better for her gut. The feeds that she has, the enteral feed, you know, it's got everything she needs in terms of minerals and vitamins and whatnot. And we also give her the Bio 360, which is, oh dear, what is the matter? It is a probiotic to help with her gut microbiome and the good bacteria in her gut. But one of the best things for the gut and the gut microbiome is a well-balanced diet. And although, you know, she gets all of the nutrients in the feed, it's not quite the same as real food. And, you know, we can target foods that are known to be good for the gut as well. And, you know, if Avery's gut is healthy, that can help a lot of things that go on in her body, her reflux, dystonia, because Avery, we believe, does get gut dystonia as well, tummy upsets. All of these things, they bounce off of one another. So just trying to help one of those things can potentially help the rest. And it's silly to think that something as simple as what she eats can affect almost all of her conditions at once, but it's possible. And that's why I'm always excited to target even one of her conditions, whether that's her reflux or tummy upset or dystonia, because they all kind of bounce off of one another. I've always said that her reflux and her dystonia are very closely linked. When one is bad, usually so is the other. The same would go for her gut and any tummy upsets. If she has gut dystonia, then what goes on in her gut is going to massively affect her dystonia, and what's going on in her stomach is going to affect her reflux, which then affects her dystonia. So they all kind of link together. So I think this is going to be a good thing, but again, I'm going to try and not put so much pressure on it this time.